setting up team damage settings. So if you don't have in here in your network manager, if there is no teams component here, you need to set up a teams component. And you can do that by right-clicking, saying create EMI, generate new team data, and it will generate basically this empty list for you. And we could take advantage of this list and modify it using a nice helpful UI. So what is teams used for? Well, if you don't have a teams component here, Invector is going to damage objects based on your layer settings. Now, when it comes to multiplayer, that's difficult because every player is tagged as player. And if you allow damaging the player layer, you basically can damage everybody. So what I've done is I've actually included something in here so you can prevent damaging yourself and also allow damaging other people. And it's probably in the melee manager. So let me look at that. So it's not available in the basic locomotion because I don't think anything in there really provides damaging anything. So let's have a look at the melee combat input here. And third person controller maybe. Here we go. So third person controller. So it actually should be on the basic locomotion. But I have this little tick mark here. It says prevent self damage. You can disable that if you want to be able to hurt yourself. The only problem is the capsule colliders and triggers will then be triggering off yourself because you're tagged as a player as well, and everybody else will be tagged as player. So the way that you can say, I only want to hurt target players, is assign them to a team. And that requires the team component. And on all players, I always suggest say auto assign character team, and that is going to grab whatever team settings are in your network manager here. It's going to grab and pull down this example teams and assign it to the blue team, and that is going to base and what's going to happen there is only certain teams are going to be able to allow damaging of other teams. So the layer will then connect. You say I can hurt a player. So we have a look at the melee manager here, and got to pull that character back up. So we look at the melee manager and we look at the hit properties, and you see that the player is on here. So I'm allowed punching a player, I prevent damage to myself, and I assign myself to the blue team. And you can override the team data. Instead of pulling it down manually, you can automatically, you can manually assign a team data here. And there's that team data we just generated, and there's the one that's assigned to the network manager. And then you can manually set the team name here. And I also have documentation on how to change the team. And it's under helpful code here. So here's a simple line of basically this line right here. You need to call change team, and then the name of the team that you want to change it to. And then by doing that, it'll change your enemies, who your enemies are, and who you can hurt. So now with that background out of the way, let's say find team data files. So this is all the team data that are in my project. And you can see the one that I just generated here, which is team data, which is empty, and also the example teams. And the example teams, you see there are two teams. There's the blue and the red team. So the blue can hurt the red team and cannot hurt same team members. And same goes for red. Red can hurt the blue team but cannot hurt themselves. So let's look at this team data here. So let's go back and find this in my pre-built prefab. So that's this team data here. So I'm going to select it here so you can see what's happening in real time. So if I say zombies, let's have the zombies team. See, it added the zombies team, and currently there's no enemies on the zombies team. Now let's make humans. So humans can definitely hurt zombies. So there we go. and you can see that updating in real time. So humans can hurt zombies, and then I'm going to say zombies can hurt themselves and can hurt humans. And so now when I assign a character to the zombie team, they essentially can hurt everybody. But when I assign them to the human team, they can only hurt zombies. And then, of course, I can go about and remove these. So you can use this window to quickly design team settings and then assign them to the team component. So for example, if I only want this pot to be damaged by the blue team, I would come up here and I would not auto assign it. And okay, so I'm going to interrupt this video a little bit and say, in this next part, I assign the team data directly to the team component, but you don't actually have to do that if you don't want to. If you want to just take advantage of the team data that's been assigned to the network manager, don't assign it to the team component. And as soon as the onStart is called, it will actually pull down that team data that's stored in your network manager. I would say I want to use this team data set, and I want to assign them to the red team because I only want blue people to hurt them. Remember, in our team data setting up here, if we look at the example team, only the blue team can hurt the red team, and the red team cannot hurt themselves. So this would prevent damage to this component because they are now on the red team. And then, of course, you can make this completely dynamic and call the .changeTeams function on there. But you can see how very easy it is to change them. And I've included these in the example scenes where you can see how I do it on a trigger. When you enter this trigger, it'll set you to the blue team. And when you enter this trigger, it'll set you to the red team.